Mark McKenna, welcome to RaithTV, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me, Graham.
No, it's great to see you here. I just thought it'd be a nice insight. Last week we got Robbie Thompson in, goalkeeper coach, hear about the day-to-day that he's doing. For anyone who's maybe watching this, who's seen you buzzing around at Starks Park and away games, not understanding or knowing who you are, just to sort of get a wee introduction to yourself. So why don't you let yourself just explain who you are and what you do here?
Yeah, I'm first team coach here at Raith Rovers. Came in September. Probably my day-to-day kind of shifts week to week. My role here is part-time, and to probably summarise my role here, it's assisting the manager, Mickey, the assistant, and the coaching team, support staff, to make sure that we get as much information, as much detail into the players, both on the pitch and the training sessions, on the grass, and off the pitch, tapping into the bit of analysis background that I come from, working with the players, individuals, units. The gaffer's been great. He's kind of letting me take the lead on the opposition analysis work, so delivering that stuff back to the players. So whole mix of things, but to summarise, probably just assisting the manager and the assistant to do as much as we can.
Analysis plays such a huge role in football now. We've seen it over the last few years, the introduction of video analysis and the stats that we can get access to now. So that is your background, I understand. So as well as working at Raith Rovers, you're also working with the Scottish Football Association as well?
Yes, so my role at the Scottish FA, I'm Performance Analysis Manager, so oversee the provision of analysis across both men's, women's, senior, right down to youth teams from under 12s with the performance school right through. So another vast role, a lot of moving parts to it, but yeah, so pretty much day to day there's making sure opposition analysis, individual analysis, our own team's analysis, coaches are looked after as much as possible, so again they've got as much detail and information going into every camp we've got. So
is that working like at the top end with Steve Clark and the rest of the coaching staff?
Yeah, so predominantly the squad I work with the senior national men's team. Worked there now full time with Steve for 5 years. So been some fantastic experiences. Been at the last 2 Euros. Some unbelievable home and away games. But all in all, just brilliant experience. And again, kind of for myself personally, it's just been unbelievable.
It must be a really exciting role to be involved in, but with your age as well, because you're only 30 years old, so how did that all come about? What was your journey into that?
I know, I'm looking at you now, I know you don't think I look 30. It's been a tough paper round for me, but that's football. I actually had a long ginger afro before I started here, but on all seriousness, how I got into the role, came through as kind of player, got injured quite young, had to kind of give up the playing, but on the back end of my youth career, came through at Queen's Park, started coaching there as I was kind of finishing my time up there. Got injured pretty quickly after I left Queen's, and then I was just right into the coaching, got the bug for it. So my actual background is in coaching, but fell into the analysis and has always kind of just done both side by side, and the analysis kind of became more prominent for me, and I've been doing that now for the last 10 or 11 years. So
that's interesting. How did the move to Raith Rovers come about then?
It's an interesting one. So I never knew Andy, well, tell a lie, I knew Aidan Conley. Aidan and I played together as youth players at Queen's. I knew Mickey as well, but apart from that I never knew anybody. The time it came about at the SFA, they were allowing me to go and get more coaching experience, and they were really investing in that side of the game for me, which has been great. So they allowed me to go and find a new opportunity. So as you do, you go and you get the kind of feelers out and see what's out there. And thankfully at the time Neil Collins gave me the opportunity to come speak to him, get a feel for what it is I could provide to the club, and what the club could help me with as well. So that was the kind of beginning of the journey, coming through, having a chat with Neil, and then from there it's just blossomed, and obviously in with a new manager, which has been brilliant.
Yeah, like there's certain football fans that like to keep a close eye on what's happening down at the dugouts and things. Well, I've noticed, yourself being there, another addition, there's a few other faces that are in the technical area with the manager, and I think traditionally it just used to be the manager and the assistant manager. Now we're seeing management teams effectively, but we're also seeing a lot of technology. We're seeing screens down there. So what's going on in the technical area on a match day that you're involved in then?
I think firstly, from the kind of club perspective, they've been fantastic in terms of investing, looking to kind of be forward thinking in terms of having a modern analysis department. They've been great, bringing in 2 analysts, both Robert and Charlie have been in probably for the last 6 months. So pretty much what you're seeing in the kind of touchline is the lads are kind of gathering the information, gathering video clips, data, and they're sending that down onto the bench, both obviously through the video, but also kind of direct communications through the mic. So
you're all mic'd up on a match day?
Yeah, everybody's mic'd up, so constantly getting that feedback for the stands, being able to kind of sound it off of Mickey and Robbie and other coaches to give that information back to the gaffer, which hopefully helps the players out.
And with regards to the sort of group that you're working on, how easy has it been coming into Raith Rovers? And you know, as I say, you've mentioned that it was Neil Collins that brought you in. We've seen a transition into working under Barry Robson as well. So how easy has that been?
Oh, it's been great. Obviously, like I said at the start, it was almost a kind of new environment I was coming into. Didn't know many people, so initially coming in and just finding your feet, getting to know everybody, but the coaching team and John Potter and especially the guys senior up in terms of the board, they've been great with me, and then on to the lads who've been brilliant, really brought me in and made me feel as welcome as possible, which made it such an easy transition for me.
We talk about the importance of video analysis and the data and everything that comes with football. You're a younger coach that's got that emphasis on it, but what about people who are maybe watching this that will have the mindset of like, football's played on grass, it's not played on paper? How important actually is it for you and the management team and the players to have that data, and what kind of data are we looking at, and what's the things that people at home can be watching and looking out for that makes a big difference?
I think probably firstly, because it's becoming so popular and now from a young age, the youth players are getting it all the time. So what we're finding more and more is the players are striving for the information. The players want more detail. The players want to know every fine bit of information they could possibly get, both on themselves and the opposition. So it becomes such a massive part, and pretty much we're here to almost fulfil their needs and make sure that they go out that pitch on a Saturday, they're ready to play, they're comfortable. And that's what we strive to do, so we try and leave no stone unturned, as we always do, and I think that's all because now the modern player, they want it, they need it, and that's what they look for. And in terms of what people would look for, it's so vast now, and we're at probably a moment in the game where there's so much information, you could literally take anything out of it. There's so much data, there's so much video out there.
I mean, someone was telling me the other day, is it passes per defensive action?
Yes.
I mean, what does that even mean?
To be fair, that's more kind of pressing stats and out of possession statistic. But for us, no matter what information we use, no matter what we do, it's got to be simple, it's got to be clear, it's got to be precise for the players, because ultimately the last thing we want to do on a Saturday is have any sort of confusion going on onto the pitch on a match day.
Well, it's getting to crunch time. Talk about match days. You know, we've got 2 games left and a big game tomorrow against Green Morton here at Starts Park, the last Saturday home game of the season. What are we expecting? What are we looking at? What are we expecting from our opponents tomorrow? Yeah,
I think obviously on the back of last weekend, I think the vibes have been great. We've seen the reactions for the fans at the end, the buzz about the place, and that away end was amazing, and that's kind of kicked on into this week. Normal prep for us, as we always will do. We're very consistent with how we operate, and like we say, the last 2 games we know what we need to do, and we're hoping that things go our way elsewhere, but ultimately we just need to focus on ourselves, and that's what we always do. So as always, we're ready to go.